recall, this used to be a refugee camp, Ifo2, which was closed in May last year. And since the closure of this camp, concrete decisions haven't been made as to how this camp is going to be utilized by the host community. First of all, we'd like to acknowledge and thank the host community for having given this land to their neighbors when they were in the hour of need. Now that they have gone, something must be done about this area. And one of the things that we started doing 6 years ago as Kenya Red Cross was the whole issue of the environment and the protection of the environment. Because really the environment was depleted here. As you could see, people had gone 2 to 3 days to go and look for firewood. Okay? And the firewood meant that all the big trees that were remaining here were all depleted. So the aim of Kenya Red Cross through this environment program was to try and reclaim this environment by planting trees, and we have been doing this by setting up green belts. So in this whole area, we set up about 75 acres of green belt in various parts of this camp. Now that they have gone, we also realize that we need to have more to do with food trees and vegetables at the same time. So we have started also using the infrastructure of the water that exists in this camp to try and plant various plants and various trees and various seeds. So you see now here behind me, you can't believe this is in Dadaab in Garissa. Because here we are growing bananas, we have pawpaws, we have lemon, we have mangoes, we have we have beans, we have okra, we have lentils, we have anything that we want to grow here can actually basically grow. It's just water and your seedlings. They do not get to supplement their nutrition with food. Food has to come from down country Kenya, as it's called here, and it's very costly. But we are saying it is actually possible to grow food here, any kind of food. And this is what we've been trying to do. Come appraise ourselves on this general situation and what we need to do more. Thirdly was to ask to come and talk to the host community and the leadership of this area that actually we want to now start a very technology of bringing in pivot for farming. Just on my left hand side here, there's an open area. We're going to use 34 hectares of this, which should be about almost 70 something acres. We're going to put up a center pivot, which will be irrigating there. What we want to irrigate here will irrigate grass and high quality grass called alfalfa, which will be harvesting every 30 days. We'll be baling it, we'll be giving to the herders, we'll be selling some of it, because we have hospital on the other side, which a level 5 hospital that used to be here before the refugees went away, and now it's closed because there are no population, and we want the host community to come and resettle here. Behind us we also have a school, and there are a number of schools in this area that have now been neglected after the refugees have left, because the host community will have to be moved here in order for them to settle and get away from their nomadic way of life. So what we are saying literally is that anything is possible here. Just with water, you can change the face of this place. And already behind me, as I said, you can see the pawpaws, the mangoes, the banana plantation that is coming up, and the watermelon. 18 kilograms, 20 kilograms of one watermelon. Because you have 12 hours of sunshine, the land is fertile, it's natural, no chemicals you require, no fertilizers you require, just water and right seeds. So I just want to say that if we're talking of the big four of our president of this country, and one of it being food security, these parts of Kenya, northern Kenya, just with water and with technology, it can feed the rest of the country. And the famous bread basket of Kenya, of Rift Valley and other provinces, can be for export. But here we can also export to our neighbors, whether it's Somalia or Ethiopia and others. So I just want to say how happy I am to have been here today to see this land that was barren, that was impacted by refugees, hosting refugees for as many as 20 plus years, now turning to be green fields where we're growing food, and success is here. So it's not rocket science, it's common sense. It can be done with little resources. Anyone who has resources to up the game, give us the resources and we shall deliver. Well, we started this now with IFO to show what can be done, IFO 2, because it's an empty camp. The other camps are still impacted by refugees. But we want to tell the UN, the government of Kenya and the county government, they need to work as we face out the refugees. How do we reclaim this land and how do we invest? Because this needs investments. And this is something that we should have done 20 years ago and not today. Okay? But now we are catching up. This is a good sign. We need to move from here and go to the next phase. What we are saying is, it's not only Red Cross, it's the UN, it's the government of Kenya, it's the county government, it's other agencies. What people should understand in a refugee situation, even if you go to Turkana today, the host community and the host country actually gives more in terms of value of dollar compared to what is given internationally. Because imagine here, if you go to look at the satellite maps and images of these IFO camps and the Dadaab, 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 25 years ago when refugee came, and now you will see the transformation from very positive green to now very negative arid. So we all have a responsibility to take it back to where it was. And the UN, donor agencies, our government, central and county government, we all have a responsibility to make sure this is returned back to its original vegetation.
With the local leadership, we encourage our local residents to come and settle in this area, which has a facility comprising of all aspects. The health facility is there, and educational infrastructure are there, and this mega project, irrigation project, will benefit the locals, because if there are no people settled here, nobody will benefit. We are urging our people to come and settle here, and we will provide mechanism, because we don't want to to bring a lot of problem rather than goods. We will have a mechanism on how they will settle as the leadership led by the area MP, and we'll have a program for the local community. And we are urging them, because this is a facility, a mega facility, a level 5 hospital, secondary schools, primary schools, all the water are there. So we only need people to settle here. We are urging our people to come here and settle so that they benefit from this program. As we are aware that our people are pastoralists, this is a sort of, moving from a pastoral community to agricultural. And we have all the facilities. Water is there. We are urging, if we can have even grass, we can plant grass so that when there is a drought season, they can come, and graze the animal here. So we urge the pastoralists also to come and try and see how they can move from a livestock program to agricultural program and settle here. We only need people to settle here, because every facility is here.